My name is Andrew Harnik. I'm a staff photographer with the Washington Times. I spend most of my time covering politics, sports, and sort of daily metro life. It can be just a brief second where a politician who's really used to being in front of cameras and in front of people and speaking publicly lets their guard down and lets something real happen. There was a really touching moment on the Hill. Senator Kirk had suffered a stroke and had to spend some time away. He was finally sort of at a stage where he could come back to work. All the senators came out on the Senate steps and stood in a row and applauded him as he walked up those stairs. He kind of pointed to everybody and said, "Here are all my friends." It was a really nice moment. I was sent to Iowa to cover the Republican primaries, and Ron Paul was really starting to take off. He was getting a lot of support, so I spent a very long day covering him through 4 campaign stops through Iowa. We were in a big auditorium. Lots of people came to hear him speak, and he had an enormous American flag on stage with him. And he had veterans sitting with him as well. Towards the end of one of his talking points, people on stage were applauding and stood up and giving their support. And after everybody else quieted down, this lone fist kind of hung there. A lot of people started seeing that photo as, he has a smaller support, but it's so passionate behind him. More so than a lot of people were about Romney, who ended up taking the ticket. There's also a lot of preparation that goes into covering sports. You still, the same way you would prepare for learning about a politician or learning about a topic for a metro assignment, you really have to know the teams that you're covering, be aware of who the major players are, who are the stars, who people are going to be looking for. So the last few years covering the Redskins has been really exciting to be a photographer in DC. We've had the pleasure of covering RG3 come up from his draft day all the way through his amazing rookie season. About halfway through the season, we were following an offensive drive, and Robert Griffin III lined up about 10 yards out from the end zone. Hoping that he would scramble to my side of the field, I lined up much farther down than most photographers usually do. Luckily, finally, it happened. I had been doing that all season, hoping that he would jump out, run across, and sort of come out, jump over the pylon, which is exactly what he did. It's currently on exhibit at the NFL Hall of Fame. One of the things that's really important to stress to just somebody picking up the newspaper and looking at these images weren't created in a vacuum. It's really hard. It takes hours and years of dedication to perfect the craft as well as equipment. We have an entire staff behind me working with logistics and putting the paper out. We see so many images in our world these days that it's easy to sort of look at, oh, nice, and cast away. But really, hours, years of practice go into these images.